Good morning. It is September 15. It's a Friday. Normally I have Fridays off, but this week I am hopefully going to the beach on Sunday. So I am actually swapping my day off with Sunday this week. I'm also going out on Saturday night. So I just thought instead of having Friday off and Sunday off, which I don't really want to do because there's a lot of things I want to do, I am having today to do blogging, and then I'll relax on Sunday/Saturday night, but I normally try not to work too late on Saturday night anyway, so that's not really much of a difference. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. It's about 9:30 a.m. now. Steve and I slept in this morning, which last night I was like, I'm so keen to sleep in because I wake up at about 5:15 usually during the week or every other weekday to go to the gym. Fridays is my rest day for exercise. So it was so nice. Woke up at 8:40 and then had breakfast. I had some porridge with protein powder and peanut butter and a little bit of crystallized ginger. And then I did my cleaning, which I cleaned the floors. And now I'm here. Today I'm going to be working on my Instagram. I have been doing three normal YouTube videos a week previously, and I just feel like 10 videos a week is a lot to promote and a lot to manage, and that my time, instead of doing 3 extra videos, like normal tutorial-y style videos a week, it'd be better to do 1 and then to use that other time to work on my Instagram, because I feel like there's so much I could do with my Instagram, but I've never really poured the time into it. And if I'm really honest with myself, the reason that's never happened, even though I know Instagram is such an amazing way to connect with people, and I personally, of all the social media, YouTube and Instagram, though I don't know if YouTube's really counted because it is. I use YouTube and Instagram the most, but Instagram probably the very most. But I just always I don't even know how to describe it. I just feel like I care too much about what other people think, even though A, they're not thinking about it, B, it doesn't matter. I still find myself holding myself back with Instagram. I don't know if it's because more of my friends are on Instagram and it feels more connected. I don't know. But that's honestly why this lighting's going to be a bit funny. That's honestly why I have really struggled to stay consistent with Instagram. It's because I still need to work on managing my mind around it a lot better. So I've never made it a priority. I've always been like, oh, I don't have time, it takes so much time. And it does take time, but I spend time on other things. I don't know, I feel like it's really just me holding myself back and not managing my mind around Instagram. And there are lots of people that love it when I post on Instagram, and it's not like I'm getting all these hate comments either. It's like everyone, at least to my face, you never know what people are saying, but to my face everyone's so supportive. So it's not like I post something and every time I get all these negative comments. It's just fully what I'm making up in my mind, and I don't want to appear to be really narcissistic, but then at the same time, I'm my brand, so you kind of have to not be there's a good way to do it and a bad way for sure, but I don't know, I feel like I'm really holding myself back with Instagram particularly. So I've decided, instead of filming videos every week, besides these, I'm talking about these, instead of filming videos every week, I'm going to film once every 3 weeks and roll those out. God, when the light changes, I look like a ghost. I'm gonna batch them together, film them like once every few weeks and edit them, but then use that other time to work on my Instagram, to be posting a lot and like sharing what I'm talking about on this, because these videos are kind of what I would talk about on Instagram, and what I talk about. I bought some new sunscreen yesterday. And what I talk about on just the Woolies. But I was like, I have this one for my face, which is really good for under makeup, but it's so little that for other areas of my body, I feel like just a normal one is better. Like for here. I'm probably going to get changed again before I go to work. But anyway, I'm just trying to get into the habit of putting sunblock on, because I do go outside a bit. Well, not that much, but incidental, walking around and driving and everything. So yeah, I feel like it's purely because in my mind I'm thinking other people are judging me, and I need to cut that out because it's holding my business back. It doesn't feel good for me either to be holding myself back, even though it's like temporary relief in a way. Yeah, I just feel like, just put some sunscreen on my arms. I just feel like definitely not coming from a good place, and I really do want to grow my Instagram, and I have been seeing quite a bit of growth lately, and it's funny, whenever that happens, I like can feel myself trying to then take a step back, but I need to just keep leaning into that. And wow, I feel like I'm puffed. So that is something I'm working on at the moment, managing my mind around Instagram and caring about / not caring about, or not even, it's not even like not caring about what other people think. It's about like, I haven't put on powder. It's like I'm just completely making up what I think other people think, and it just drives me wild sometimes. It's really frustrating, but I'm only human. I need to be kind to myself, but I'm really working on that at the moment, and I think the best way is just to, instead of trying to change my thoughts directly around it, to just like feel that and do it anyway, instead of trying to avoid it by not posting anything, and then just take it from there. So that's what I'll be doing. I would love to be posting 3 times a day and sharing like what I'm, that's what I was gonna say before, that these videos are kind of like what I talk about in Instagram captions and Insta story. So just like actually using my Instagram to chat about some of this stuff too, because I know some people aren't into YouTube but would find some of this stuff really helpful. And so that's what I'm going to be working on today, and like coming up with a good way to plan it all. I use Planoly, Planoly, to like see what my Instagram grid will look like, so that I can make sure it looks pretty, and you can like write captions and stuff ahead of time, so that I could write the caption about this like the day that I'm uploading it, so that I remember what I'm talking about and don't have to spend the time watching it again. Not that I don't want to watch it again, but if there's going to be a daily video and they're all 20 minutes long, it's going to take me a bit of time. So I'm just working on that. I had my coaching session yesterday, which was so good. I was just so excited about everything, and telling Kit, like, even just in 1 week, how much I'd like figured out just by spending a lot of time doing. Like, I know I spoke about this in another one, but doing instead of planning. Like, if I was planning out this daily vlog still, like how am I going to format it, all of that. I still wouldn't be able to have figured out as much as I'd figured out in 2 weeks of just doing it. Today's day 14, which is so exciting to have like hit a little 2-week milestone, even though it's not really. Oh, this eyebrow, like there's nothing left. Fuck. I'm gonna have to use this other one, which I don't like as much because it's not really exactly the right color. So yeah, that's what I'm like currently thinking about. I was also saying yesterday I was going to mention which podcasts I've been listening to, because I've been listening to heaps. I'm actually in love with Maria Sharapova. She has just done an interview on Tim Ferriss's podcast, and also an interview on Lewis Howes's podcast, School of Greatness, about her new book, but particularly the one on Tim Ferriss's podcast, which I definitely enjoyed more because it was long form. It was like 2 hours something. So I listened to it last week when I was just chilling, like doing some cleaning and driving, and over quite a few different times because it was so long, which I love though. But she's just like, her mindset, there's so much I want to learn from her, and I really want to read her book just because she has this amazing mindset around like discipline and repetition and growth, and there were just so many interesting things she said in her interview on Tim Ferriss's. I think I loved Tim Ferriss's way more because he's really good at like having those deep dive conversations and taking it really interesting places, whereas the one on Lewis Howes' podcast was more of like, it was still like an hour long, but he also interrupts quite a bit, whereas Tim Ferriss just like lets the guest speak without trying to add in anything. So yeah, I loved that. I'm like hungry for more podcast interviews. I'll have to search because I'm sure she's been on a few of them, hopefully. And they're all different. So I've been listening to that. I've been listening to Brooke Castillo again, the Life Coach School podcast. Oh, my eyebrows today. She was saying, like, I listened to I'll link them all below, the episodes I've listened to recently. But she was just saying how, like, we all kind of think that once we're successful, then we won't feel as bad as we currently feel. But that negative emotion is part of life, and success won't relieve you from that. And I was like, so true, that we're all kind of like, well, when I lose 10 kilos, then I'll feel better then my life will be better. And like, yes, it probably will, but then you'll still have the same kinds of negative emotions. Like, we're not going to be happy all the time, and we think we should be happy all the time. So yeah, I just found that so interesting. She also did an episode, I can't open this. She also did an episode about coaching and how, like, her coaching experiences, and I know I've spoken about coaching quite a bit on this already, and I'm just writing a blog post at the moment about how my self-confidence has improved so much in particularly the last couple of months since I started coaching with Kit, but generally it has improved a lot over the last year. And like the things that really help that, there are so many blog posts and articles about how to improve self-confidence that are really superficial, in that the advice, like, you know, dress better, stand up straight, all of that is such a temporary fix, and that stuff never helped me. Like maybe in a moment if I'm like about to do an interview and that kind of thing, but I find like long term the things that have really helped me, and I talk about all of them, but hiring a coach, definitely the biggest. Doing, like, actually exploring my potential instead of dreaming about it, because now I'm recreating my identity for myself as someone that does rather than someone that procrastinates. And when you think of yourself as someone that does things, you have a lot more confidence when you're making plans and all of that kind of thing, that you can actually follow through with them and you can actually achieve your goals. Whereas if you never follow through with your plans and you always procrastinate, then it's hard to be confident in yourself. I also talk about a meditation technique called noting. I'll link the post below. It'll probably be live by the time this goes up. Which is where, like, when you're thinking, if you're having a negative thought loop, which is basically, I'm sure you know what I mean, when you're kind of thinking about something on repeat, and it's not something positive to be thinking about, like it makes you feel shitty, but your brain keeps going back there. You just say to yourself, like, thinking, and you note it as thinking. And for me, it has really helped me remind myself that my thoughts aren't me, they're separate to me, and I can control them. And it just has helped me pull myself out of that, because low self-confidence comes from negative self-talk. It doesn't come from our appearance. It doesn't come from any kind of circumstance. It comes from the way that we interpret everything, which is our thoughts. So changing your self-confidence is all about changing the way you think about things, because, like, all those articles saying to change your appearance, like, yes, if your appearance changes, your thoughts about yourself might change. But for me, and the other thing I talk about is how I improve my confidence by focusing less on appearance instead of focusing on how to look better. I focused on, like, my performance goals in the gym, and that meant I could be consistent, which meant I finally achieved my vanity goals. And what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, and to be less judgmental of other people, which I'm definitely not amazing at. Like, I do like gossiping and, but as I was saying before, like with Instagram, if I'm sitting there judging everyone on Instagram, then it feels like other people will be doing the same to me. But if I'm not judging people, then it's like not as easy to feel like everyone else is judging you. Plus you're also like a kind of person, and gossip, and even like when you're just thinking it, like it's a low level of, like, it's petty conversation, and it's kind of like comes from insecurity, which isn't something I really want. So yeah, that's basically where I'm at. Trying to improve my self-confidence, but it has improved so much just from those things. And yeah, all that advice, I just hate those blogs. Like, it's the reason I love having my own blog, because I can write things that I feel like are the things that will actually make a difference, rather than, like, it'd be so easy for me to write like 10 ways to be more confident and write all the advice you hear all the time. I don't know why I'm waving this around. And to write all the advice you hear all the time. But for me, that advice never worked, which is why I kept having to look up advice about it, because nothing worked. So finally figuring out what's worked for me, at least, and I'm gonna share it, which is really cool. So yeah, that's basically it. I think I'm just gonna leave my hair like this. But yeah, today is for Instagram, and I'm like kind of excited about it because I've never really done like a full day for Instagram. So I'm gonna have at least 1 or 2 of these a week. I still haven't actually updated this, but I am going to be doing it tomorrow morning with my new plan for the week, because my filming's going to be changing slightly, since I'm not going to be doing 3 videos every week, but probably 3 videos every 3 weeks in terms of filming. So I'm going to be changing that and just seeing, like, allocating a day for, like, I won't have to have a full day every week then for editing. I'll have 1 day every 3 weeks for filming, 1 day every 3 weeks for editing, but then all the other time can be for Instagram or even like Pinterest or whatever. So yeah, it's exciting to be in charge, because I know that if you're working for a company and you can see something's not working, or you can see a better way, there's so many, like, unless you're probably like a startup, there's so many things you'd have to get through to change what you're doing. But because it's me, I can just be like, oh no, I see something better. I had to say to Kit, like, I've been changing my plans quite a bit. Do you feel like, I was like, I don't feel like it's coming from a bad place. Like, I don't feel like it's me, like, you know, shiny object syndrome, or like, I just feel like I've been doing so much that I can iterate really quickly. He was like, no, I feel like it's coming from the right place, and you're not just like, you know, trying to stay distracted and always trying to think of something new. It's just you're like figuring out what's working best, and you're doing heaps. So that was that was good to hear. Also got, like, you probably can't see it now, I've covered it up, this like little pimp on the end of my nose. Yeah, anyway, hope you are, well, I don't know what day this will go up, maybe Thursday or something. Anyway, I hope you're well. Hope you've been enjoying these videos. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.